So I want to go to Cincinnati, Ohio.
He didn't deserve to die. Thanks for joining us here at 4 o'clock. I'm Cherie Palello.
And I'm Ashley Kirkland. The family and their attorney held a news conference that ended just a short time ago. WLWT News 5 anchor Mike Dardis joins us now with more. Mike.
Hi there, Ashley, and hi, Cherie. 18-year-old Ryan Hinton shot and killed by police Thursday in East Price Hill after that stolen car chase. Cincinnati police say it was Ryan's father who hit and killed that retired Hamilton County deputy the very next day in what appears to be a revenge killing. But the attorney for the teenager, Ryan, offered his condolences to the family of the deputy who died, but made it very clear today, this news conference that ended just in the last 30 minutes was only to discuss the deadly incident with Ryan. Several family members were at that news conference, including Ryan's grandfather, grandmother, brother, and cousin, among others. They say they watched this police body camera video of the Thursday incident. Police say Ryan was with 3 others in that stolen car. They all got out to run. Within a matter of seconds, Ryan was shot and killed. The family acknowledging again that Ryan was in the stolen car with a gun, but they say it should not have been a death sentence.
What I seen was 2 persons made a mistake. My grandson made a mistake being there, and the officer, he was trying to get back to his family too. So that's what I seen. So it's not about revenge or anything. I have nothing against nobody.
I'm so sorry, Ryan. I'm so sorry, Ryan. Just know he wasn't supposed to be there. He wasn't supposed to be there. He wasn't. He was scared.
He wasn't supposed to be there, but he was. So he's in a car. He's armed. It's a stolen car. They run. Okay. The interesting thing here is the police have an obligation to protect the rest of the citizenry. So they've got somebody they know to be armed. He's running. If he gets away, he might shoot somebody. They don't know whether they've got an armed robbery suspect situation here. They don't know what's going on. It's like, hey, this.
I want to finish playing a clip.
Go ahead.
The attorney saying the only video they saw was from the camera of the police officer who shot and killed Ryan. They've now requested the video from the other responding officers, and they will conduct, they say, a complete investigation and then provide us with another update. Mike Dardis, WLWT News 5.
This is playing to the media, which is not a bad defense tactic. But again, armed individual fleeing from the police in a stolen vehicle. Typically, what happens when you have that situation, guess what?
What?
There's been an armed robbery. Stolen vehicle, armed occupants of a car, armed robbery of a gas station, liquor store, bank, or something like that. And there's all this background that the cops involved don't know. They know there is a gun. They know that people are fleeing. And by the way, the jury instructions in most states say flight may be used to infer guilt. In other words, if
you have to shoot and kill them.
Well, yeah, you're not entitled. If you are entitled, you're not entitled to shoot and wound. You're entitled to kill for the defense of self or others. Now, see, what happens is third-party defense is got the same standard as self-defense. The difference is the cop has a broader responsibility to the whole public. Now, what would have happened if, let's say, they didn't, and one of the armed suspects had escaped and shot and killed somebody 3 miles away, 2 miles away? People would have been hollering and lawsuits would have been filed because why didn't the police stop these armed suspects instead of letting them go make life dangerous for other stuff? That's a common situation. I've had cases personally I've been involved in where somebody held up one place, got in a gunfight, took off fleeing, and the police didn't do what they should have done, and somebody else innocently walking along the street gets killed. So there are all kinds of repercussions. So the question is, I don't know the facts on this one, but I suspect that if you have an armed suspect, guns involved, stolen vehicle, and the suspects are attempting to flee, that's going to be a clean killing, irrespective of what the family says. But, years ago, the family would have been talking about it was tragic, but not they shouldn't have shot him. They could have done something else. Like what?
Well, it says that the incident unfolded in a 6 quick seconds, according to police, when officers responded to a report of a stolen Kia out of northern Kentucky. As officers approached, Cincinnati Police Chief Terry Theetge said 4 people fled from a vehicle with at least one of them armed with a gun. As they were being chased, police said one officer fired several shots, striking Hinton twice. Video of the chase and subsequent shooting were released Friday. He's got a gun. He's got a gun. On your right, one officer could be heard saying to another officer on the body camera footage before several shots could be heard. Police recovered a gun at the scene with an extended magazine and another magazine in his pocket. Another firearm was also recovered in the stolen Kia. The other 3 suspects ran off. 2 were taken into custody away from the complex following a lengthy search using K9 units and drones. A third was arrested on Saturday. Representatives for the Hinton family shared a statement following more information about what happened in the interim between the shooting death of the 18-year-old Ryan Hinton by Cincinnati police on Thursday morning. And here's the second part, Judge, to this whole story. And the alleged murder of a Hamilton County Sheriff's deputy by Ryan Hinton's father, Rodney Hinton Jr., Friday afternoon. So here's the second half of this story.
That's going to be a death penalty demanded if Ohio has a death penalty.
Ohio does not. So the father of Ryan Hinton, who was shot and killed by police, he ran over and killed a sheriff who was directing traffic after a graduation ceremony the following day. So I want to play this clip here.
The death of an Ohio sheriff's deputy is being called possible revenge for a police-involved shooting in Cincinnati. Court papers say the deputy was intentionally hit by a car driven by 38-year-old Rodney Hinton. He was charged with aggravated murder. The previous day, Hinton's 18-year-old son was fatally shot by a Cincinnati officer responding to a stolen vehicle report. Body camera video shows him running away. Police say he pointed a gun at them.
Well, if he pointed,
Next tonight, authorities.
They're credible in saying the gun was pointed. They don't have to sit there and spare him. It's not you can shoot him to wound him. The idea is you can use deadly force, which means you can kill him. That becomes justifiable homicide. So it's probably going to be held to be a clean killing unless
well, the father
I'm trying to be too politically correct, but the father is going to have a first-degree murder case, or especially aggravated murder case, because that becomes that is not going to wash. I mean, if he's looking at it as one of those things, you have to do what you have to do, fine. But what this thing about we're going to kill somebody just because they're a cop, because some other cops did something wrong. Well, that's like lynch a Negro because some other Negro's done something wrong. That's the same kind of thing.
So Rodney Hinton Jr. has been charged with aggravated murder in the death of sheriff's deputy who was struck Friday while directing traffic near University of Cincinnati. Cincinnati police said Hinton is the father of 18-year-old Ryan Hinton, who was shot and killed by an officer the day before. But can he claim a passion crime, like, mental breakdown and
You're talking about
The dad.
you're talking about temporary insanity.
Yes.
But yeah, that's not going to wash here because juries don't buy that much anymore. They never did.
It says Sunday evening, Sheriff McGuffey identified the deceased Hamilton County Sheriff Deputy as Larry Henderson. Henderson was with the sheriff department for 33 years. Deputy Henderson's badge number 129 will be retired from our agency. I mean, it's unfortunate.
It is. You got somebody who was out there trying to make it safe for the kids to go to school, and somebody else decides to take out his grief on them or rage on them.
Yeah. And
so that's not too cool.
But my question is, well, why would you do that? It had to be mental. Something snapped.
It doesn't have to be anybody snapped. Some people just go off on that because they've been told that their emotional status justifies all kinds of wrongs. That's been the new element in crime. Why'd you do it? I was emotional. Why did you do it? I was emotional. That is not a reason. What did you do it for? If you are applying, you've already pled guilty, young man. You are applying for probation. Why did you do it?
It wasn't premeditated. I think something just snapped. And
no, that's premeditation. That's going to be an easy premeditation thing because premeditation does not require a specific amount of time. It can be formed in an instant. I'm going to do this, and I bet I can get away with it or not even care, which for sentencing purposes illustrates more depravity. In other words, I'm just going to kill somebody because I'm mad because my son got killed. That's not a good case to have to defend.
Mm-hmm. Well,
he's until he's proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. It might be just coincidental, but that's about as bad as luck can be and anything for everybody involved in the process.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, it says that the judge ordered Hinton Jr., the father, he's held without bond in the Claremont County Jail until his next hearing, which is May the 6th. In a statement Saturday, attorneys representing the Hinton family said they were hired to investigate the death of Ryan Hinton.
May 6th?
Huh? Tomorrow.
May 6th?
Yeah, tomorrow.
What's the day?
Today is the 5th.
Okay, tomorrow.
Yeah, so tomorrow is his hearing, his next hearing, and he's held without bond right now. So the family attorneys representing the Hinton family said they were hired to investigate the death of Ryan Hinton, and that Rodney Hinton, along with other family members, met with Cincinnati police on Friday to view the body camera footage of his shooting death. So if the father, along with the family members, watched the body camera footage Friday, he must have gotten in his car, seen a sheriff directing traffic after graduation, and decided to mow him down.
I wouldn't say must have, but that's might be a theory that the prosecution relies upon. Remember, he's innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Now,
it's this and this is nothing. It says Ryan Hinton's family, including Ryan's father, was present at the meeting, and they were understandably distraught as they watched the body cam video. After the meeting, the police department, Ryan Hinton's father left in his own vehicle, and that was the last we heard from him until learning about the tragic incident involving a law enforcement officer who was working a traffic detail near University of Cincinnati. The attorneys are Michael Wright, Sheen Williams, and Robert Grisham of the Courtroom firm, as well as Anthony Pearson of Pearson & Pearson LLC. So
means nothing.
I heard the Courtroom firm does have a law firm in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah, well, the Courtroom firm is an association. It's not exactly one of these coherent firms. It's more an affiliation or a franchise. That's like Morgan and Morgan. that's not functioning as one real firm. And one of the problems with these things is some of these affiliations, they advertise, it sounds really impressive until you understand they won't take anything that requires trial. So I only get impressed with trial results and trial performances.
Well, they did start a GoFundMe for Ryan, the boy that was killed by the police, to support the family.
Why does the family need support? They can sue if they've got a case. They'll get civil compensation.
Well, someone started a GoFundMe, and then they added the father to it as well. And the police department is requesting for GoFundMe to delete that fundraiser.
Yeah, they might. In other words, you got somebody accused of, if the facts is alleged or are as they allege, that's a cut and dry first degree murder, premeditated homicide, which is the most serious offense that we have. So why would you want to go raise money to defend somebody for that, even if it's one of those things that you got to do what you got to do type situations?
So it says justice for Ryan Hinton, support his family.
Well, I don't get this. He's in a car. It's a stolen car. There are multiple guns in the car. They all flee the scene. Apparently, officers are saying he's got a gun. He's got a gun. They're in fear of their lives. They don't want to do this. They're not being war heroes. They want to go see their families when they get off work. So why are we supposed to be funding that?
Well, they also set up one for the father who killed the sheriff too.
I got that. It's like,
and the goal is 50,000. So it's 50,000 for the son and the father.
And that's,
well, honestly, this is the culture where we are living at. Because have you heard of the white one called a artistic black boy at a playground, the N-word with the hard ER nigger? And that went viral. And so she started a give, send, go. And she started to ask for 200, and she got over 200, and she upped it to $1 million. Now she raised over $500,000.
For what?
To protect her and her family, because she called the black boy a nigger, and it went viral.
Yeah, well, that doesn't impress me either, because that's been happening for the last couple of 100 years in this country. And in the last 25, 30, the subjects of that insult have been calling themselves that. So, yeah, okay.
And it's like, okay, but now they're saying it could all be some type of grift, because she knew the little black boy, knew his father. And then I don't know if this is the picture of the black boy father or just another black man. So it all could just be a scam. However,
yeah.
So on X, of course, the white people were saying, well, yeah, black people sent money to Carmelo Anthony, so we are going to send money to her so that her family could be protected, because I guess she was getting threats or harassments for calling a black boy nigger.
Well, you know what? It's the way the media, mainstream and social, is playing these things, is it ramps up the interpersonal hostility and aggression in this country tremendously.
So my thing is, since people want to give so much, I'm about to start a GoFundMe for us, for me and you.
I'm about to GoFundMe for just being aggravated by stupidity and ignorance. I need $2 million to compensate me for a lifetime of having to endure stupidity and ignorance.
Can we start a GoFundMe?
I wouldn't reduce myself to that.
Well, can I, and just use your name and picture?
No, you can't.
But what if I put 50,000 and get 50,000? Don't you want to split it?
No, I wouldn't touch it.
Why?
It's unholy. It's improper.
No, I wouldn't say something bad. I would be like, hey, we want to expand the podcast. So
Yeah, well, 50,000 wouldn't get very far.
all right. So
I used to get paid that much for.
used to get paid that much in a week.
No, I used to get paid that much in 38, 40 minutes worth of work. Every 4 hours, I was getting about $250,000 for what I did.
So you got more than 50 grand a week.
Oh, hell yes.
But that goes to you worked hard.
I mean, I was getting several $100,000 for just a few hours, 4 or 5 hours.